Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Wes Hagen of Clos Pepe Vineyards and Clos Pepe Estate Wines, and I'm going to do a little unrehearsed tasting for you of the entire 09 lineup of Clos Pepe Estate wines. So we've got 5 glasses in front of us. I just pulled barrel samples. The barrel samples came directly to the glass. They've not been fine filtered. Many of them are actually blended from a number of different barrels to make sure it's a representative sample. We've got 2009 Chardonnay, which we call homage to Chablis, but we don't put it on the label because the word Chablis only belongs on one appellation of wine in the world, and that's in Chablis, France. An unoaked Chardonnay. This is the barrel fermented Chardonnay 2009, all done in neutral French oak barrels, 03 and 04 barrels being the youngest barrels involved in the production. This is the 2009 Pinot Noir, a blend of 43 different barrels, which, yes, I actually put about 4 milliliters from each barrel into each sample so I could give you a good representation. This is the 2009 Vigneron Select, our 5 best barrels put together in a blend that we tried over and over and over again. And the only one, these are the estate wines. This is our second label, Axis Mundi. This is a Syrah from the Santa Lucia Highlands from the Sleepy Hollow Vineyard. So we'll go through these and give them a quick taste and spit and tell you what I think of the 2009 vintage. Overall, it was a very nice, cool vintage, good yield, but not an excessive yield. Wines that have amazing balance. I think wines that will be wonderful to drink either early, in the middle, or lay down for 5 to 10 years, no problem. Whenever I talk about Chardonnay in the Santa Rita Hills, excuse me, I often talk about Greg Brewer, who I think is one of the sort of modern masters of Santa Rita Hills Chardonnay. And we both agree that all things being equal, maybe Chardonnay is better in the Santa Rita Hills than even Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir kind of gets all the attention, but I think Chardonnay is an amazingly expressive varietal in the Santa Rita Hills, and something in a sort of land of commodity Chardonnays where the quality and the style is improving and changing. I do think that these wines stand out. 2009, first thing I always notice in the homage to Chablis is a wonderful reductive minerality. And reductive is usually a bad word in California winemaking, but we make these wines in stainless steel barrels, lees stirred for 11 months, and the wines are extraordinarily expressive. And when I taste the 09, it's got wonderful acidity, long fruity length, kind of apples and pears. Sometimes as the wines age, they get a little hint of kind of a hazelnut character. I'm not really getting that too much in the wine. The wine obviously is in a very, very young stage. It's been sulfited recently, getting ready to go to tank and then go to bottle to make sure it's safe. I get sort of this wonderful sort of appley pear mineral expression with a little hint of that sort of clean, beautiful smell that you would get if you opened a fresh crate of oysters. So it has that nice, clean minerality, beautiful length on the palate, really good balance, and I think a wine that can age 5 to 10 years without much of a problem if it's properly cellared. I think it's elegant. I think it's balanced, and I do think about oysters, sand dabs in a lemon cream sauce, barbecued ribs. It's going to have a wonderful ability to clean the palate of fat and flavor. Not only build, and it's not overtly powerful. The wine, I keep going back to the word elegant. So I think the 2009 homage to Chablis will definitely be a beautiful wine for long-term aging. We just call it the Clos Pepe Estate Chardonnay. This is our barrel-fermented Chardonnay. We haven't done a barrel-fermented Chardonnay since 2001, and it really turned out to be one of my favorite wines. We try to put it in neutral French oak, so it has a little bit of oak expression, a little more micro-oxidation happening through the pores of the oak. You can see it's a little darker than the homage. The homage, the color of the wood gives the Chardonnay a little more golden color, just the same way that you would put silver tequila in an oak barrel, and 2 years, a year later you have reposado, or 18 months later I think you have an añejo. Scotch goes into the barrel clear, and all the oak, all the color comes from the oak. So it has a tiny, tiny bit more golden color from a combination of the coloration of the tannin of the oak as well as a little bit of oxidation. Nose is a little more New World. You get a little bit more of that toasty, roasty kind of character from the oak, a little bit of caramelization. It's very enticing. It's very, I like a wine that draws me into the glass, and clearly the aromatics in this wine are a little showier than the Homage. Homage is a little bit more elegant and sort of old world. I think the barrel fermented is a little more Californian, but certainly not unapologetically Californian. Definitely still has that sort of Chablisian characteristic of going for less oak and more vineyard character. A little more rich in the mouth, middle part of the mouth. Definitely have some wonderful acidity in the back of the palate. A richness, gorgeous on the attack. In fact, the acidity keeps building. 4 or 5 seconds in my palate, I keep feeling the acidity building. It kind of reminds me of an Alsatian wine in that sense, or Sauvignon Blanc, where the acidity almost begs that the wine cannot be drank as a cocktail, but needs to be put with food. Sushi, some type of seafood with a cream sauce. Again, something that has a good deal of fat to balance that really strong. It's about finished at about 3.2 pH and about 7.5 to 8 grams of acid. So it's definitely, and it kind of makes me want to taste it again, which is always a good sign, especially at 9:30 in the morning. And the hazelnut character that usually takes a few years in the Homage to start emerging is really emerging beautifully. The 09, I keep telling people, it may be one of my favorite Chardonnays ever, exactly the style of Chardonnay that I love to drink. Low oak, beautiful acidity, wonderful mineral character, and a wine that'll age. You could probably buy it for a 10-year-old right now and lay it down for their 21st birthday. I really hope this is a wine that can go 10 years in the cellar, but be approachable immediately, but just continue to get better. I do make wines that I tend to look more as investment wines, in the sense that you buy them, you lay them down, and you get more 5-10 years from now than you expected to get for the money that you paid.